Happy Memorial Day. I hope everybody had a really good weekend and a good Memorial Day. And I know you're also excited to continue doing geometry, and we are actually looking at surface area of rectangular prisms. Very exciting. Okay, so there's two ways that we can do this. So the surface area of a solid or a 3D figure. So it's the sum of the area of the faces. Okay, so it's the sum of the area of the faces. And a face is like the side of a 3D figure. So again, there's two ways. The first thing that you could do is you could use the net, and we'll talk about this in a minute, or you can use the formula. Okay, so there's two ways that we can do this. If you look at this prism here on the right, so a prism is just a three-dimensional figure with rectangular lateral faces. Okay, so they're labeling the length, the width, and the height here. The length of a prism is just the distance left to right of the prism. Okay, the height is a distance between the top and the bottom. Okay, and then the width is the distance from the front to back. Okay, so again, we can use two kind of methods to figure out the surface area. So surface area would be like if I were to take this rectangular prism, if I were wrapping this with wrapping paper, I would have to cover all of the surfaces, right? So that would be the surface area, like how much wrapping paper I would need to cover it all would be the surface area. Okay, so if I calculate the surface area using the net of the figure, basically what I'm doing for the net is I'm unfolding the figure. So for example, if I picked this base in the back here, okay, so I'm picking this rectangle in the back, that's 12 by, this is 3, right? Okay, so here's the space in the back, and I start kind of unfolding it from there. So I'm going to take this side and I'm going to unfold it. Okay, so this is 12 by 4. I'm going to take the front and unfold it. This is the same, it's 3 by 12. And I'm going to take this other side and unfold it. And that's the 12 by 4. And then there's also this top that I'm going to unfold, which is 3 by 4. Okay, and then the bottom that I'm going to unfold, which is also 3 by 4. Okay, so what I could then do is I could calculate the area of all of these different rectangles. So 3 by 4 up here is 12, 3 by 4 is 12, a 12 by 3 here is 36, another 12 by 3 is 36, 12 by 4 is 48, and another 12 by 4 is 48. Okay, and then what I could do is I could just go ahead and add those all up. So I would be doing 12 plus 12 plus 48 plus 48 plus 36 plus 36. Okay, so if you add all those up, I got 192 centimeters squared. Since it's surface area, it is squared. Okay, so that's the one method that you could do. The other method you could do is to use this formula for surface area, which is 2 times the width times the length plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the height times the width. Okay, so you can kind of see that basically that's what we already did here, but I wouldn't have to draw out the net and figure out all of these individually. Okay, so if I were to use this formula and the same picture here, okay, if I labeled my length, my width, and my height, and I plugged it into the formula, so 2 times 4 times 3 plus 2 times 3 times 12 plus 2 times 12 times 4, I'm getting my 12 here, which, right, I have over here, and there's 2 of them, so times 2 gives me 24. plus this was my 36, right? And there's two of them. So again, here it is over here. So that's 72. And then my 48. And again, there's two of them, okay, which would be 96. Okay, so if I add those all up, hopefully I get the same thing. I do, 192 centimeters squared. Okay, so it's basically the same method, but without drawing out the net. So it's faster to do it this way. And if you look at what you're doing, you're just plugging in all the different combinations. So you're doing width times length, right? Width times height, and then height times length is the only thing left. If you change the order of this, it does not matter. Okay, so if I'm going to use the formula, that's probably going to be a little bit easier. So it says find the surface area of the prisms using the net or the formula. So again, I'm going to use the formula here. So 2 times width times length plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay, and again, you can switch these around and it would be the same thing. I'm going to try to keep it the same that we used up here. Okay, so I'm going to label these. So this is my length, this is my height, this is my width, and I'm going to just plug them in. So 2 times 9 times 12 plus 2 times 12 times 2 plus 2 times 9 times 2. Okay, so if I go through, this gives me 216 plus this would give me 2448 plus 18 times 2 is 36. Okay, so I add them together to get 300 feet squared. All right, so if you don't want to do the formula, again, you could draw out the net, do it that way as well. So again, I'm going to use the formula again. So 2 times width times length plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. And this is my length, my width, and my height. I would really suggest if you're using the formula to label your length, width, and height so you're not by accident switching them up in the formula. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 times 4.5 times 4 plus 2 times 4 times 2.5 plus 2 times 4.5 times 2.5. Okay, and then I'm just going to multiply them out. So this gives me 36 plus 20 plus 22.5. And then you're just going to add them all up. Okay. All right, so number 3 says, what is the minimum amount of wrapping paper needed to completely cover the gift box shown below? So again, this could be a multiple choice question that you see where they're not telling you its surface area. Obviously, since that's what we're learning right now, we know hopefully that it's surface area. But if they don't tell you that and it's mixed in with other problems, you know that it's surface area because they're saying they want to cover the outside of it. Okay, so they want to cover the surface. Make sure you know, like, even the stuff you can't see, so like the bottom, the back, all needs to be covered. So again, if you want to use the formula, you can. If you want to use the net, you can. I'm going to do the formula again here. So 2 times W times length plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. And I'm going to label everything. So my length, my width, and my height. If you switch the labeling, you're going to get the same answer. So if I say this is my width, this is my length, this is my height, it's still going to work out. The most important thing is that you just label it as something so that when you're plugging it into your formula, you're not like repeating a value or missing a value. Okay, so go ahead and plug in your values. okay? And then you're just going to multiply them out. So 18 times 20 to get 360 plus 2 times 18 times 9 to get 324 plus 20 times 9 to get 180. Add them all up to get 864, which would be D here. Okay, so that is what we're doing for surface area. Again, it's like, if you think about it, covering all of the outside faces of a figure. So if there's anything you have questions on, highlight it and we can go over it in our live session. And again, I hope everybody's doing well and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.